A lot of people in Boston absolutely stunned at what happened the last three games as the Sixers come from 3 down to beat the Celtics, and they did it in Boston tonight. With Philly up 1, Tyrese Maxey to the hole. Next possession, it's Maxey again, finished with 30 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists. Clutch at the end, and the Sixers win Game 7, 109-100 to wrap it up. They get the Knicks starting Monday in New York. Last time the Sixers beat the Celtics in a playoff series, it also came in a Game 7, also in Boston, 1982. Philadelphia led by Andrew Toney, who got the nickname the Boston Strangler that year. He scored 30 or more 3 times in the series, including 34 in Game 7. The Sixers taking down Larry Bird and the Celtics, and that was the last time they did it until tonight. Our NBA analyst, Iman Shumpert, joins the show now. Shump, I think a lot of smart people in the NBA figured the Celtics had a really good chance to win it all. Instead, they're bounced in the first round. I get that Tatum was out tonight, but they also lost by double digits in Games 5 and 6. In your estimation, what happened to that team?
Well, we knew that the Boston Celtics are going to live and die by the three-point line. They've done so all year. It's just they've shot it ridiculously well. And at nights, they don't shoot it well. They've always had the chance to rely on a Jaylen Brown, the chance to rely on a Peyton Pritchard to sort of shoot them out of it or just bail them out of it in some sort of way. It's just when they shoot under 30%, as we've seen in these playoffs, they cannot win. They struggle, and there's times that they are lackadaisical when making the decision on who is going to bail them out at the moment. And I think that when they looked at the other side, game by game, the Philadelphia 76ers started to believe in Joel Embiid, one, being able to carry the load that we once thought he couldn't carry because of his injuries. And you started to see the animations come back and the confidence start to build. And then to have Tyrese Maxey be your number one guy, your option at the end that nobody can stay in front of, always looking to find a matchup and always looking to make sure the team feels calm when scoring and answering runs. I think the Philadelphia 76ers just showed the rest of the world that they are one of those scary teams that we once believed, and now they're right here in front of our face.
Yeah, we just heard Joe Mazzulla in postgame. He was asked what happened in the series, and he said Joel Embiid happened. Guy returns from his appendectomy in Game 4. The Sixers went 3 of 4 to take the series. I know the Philly's a better team with Embiid on the floor, but tell me why it changes the dynamic with that team offensively.
It's pacing. I think that having a Tyrese Maxey, one of those guys that you can't stay in front of, you have to put so much attention on every ball screen and every time there's a matchup problem. When he does that, he also goes all the way to the rim. When he goes all the way to the rim, it leaves offensive rebounding lanes for Joel Embiid, as well as Kelly Oubre, who had a great series as well. But when he gets to the rim, it makes you make decisions. It makes you go for quick drops. And then he's also able to sit there in that pocket when Tyrese Maxey makes that pocket pass, and he's able to not only make the decision at the free throw line, but he's also able to make a play, make a score, take his time, back it down. The best part about having a Joel Embiid is the way he scores instills confidence in the rest of the team. As you saw him hit that big 3 when Boston was going to make a run, he tells everybody to calm down. It takes that type of star power. It takes that level of confidence to make your team feel like no matter what run the other side goes on, we're going to win at the end.
Man, you look at that Sixers team. I mean, I know they're a 7th seed and all that, but you got Embiid, you got Maxey, you got Paul George, a multi-all-star, a tremendous rookie in VJ Edgecombe. They are loaded with talent. And Sixers-Knicks starts on Monday. Shump, how do you see that series working out?
Well, I'm going to root for my Knicks, as I always have to. But it's an interesting series. The two teams that I didn't want the New York Knicks to run into, if you ask me, it is Philly. It's a bad matchup for them. And the other one for me was Detroit, just because Detroit seems to have had their number and also seems like they want to play the Knicks so bad. So I already had them marked off the list. It's always a battle with New York and Philly. But the matchup of Joel Embiid coming back and playing the way he's playing, I mean, the guy was doing push-ups after a made field goal. That's only a good sign for the fans in Philadelphia. But having Joel Embiid in those moments it lets you know he's feeling healthy. Anytime he's talking to the crowd, he's jawing back and forth with players, he's flailing the arms, he's celebrating, he's telling the crowd to be quiet, he's telling the Philly crowd to get loud. Anytime he's doing that, not only is he fun to watch, he is fun to play with, and you're watching the Philadelphia Sixers benefit off of that. When I look at that and I preview that into seeing the Knicks, I just wonder, does Cat's magic really come and combat that of Joel Embiid, especially when it comes down to the end of games and end of quarters, trying to outscore a Joel Embiid that can also look across the court and see a Tyrese Maxey ready to do the same thing.
Yeah, Maxey and Brunson and Embiid and Cat should be all sorts of fun. Again, it starts Monday at the Garden. Iman Shumpert, our NBA analyst, giving us his thoughts as the Sixers rally back from 3-1 down to beat the Celtics. Let's hear now from Peyton Pritchard, new on SportsCenter, talking about coughing up that 3-1 lead.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's, again, the amount of games is still pretty low, right? And these are super intense, pretty quick comebacks, every other day. Didn't get lucky enough to, those 3-day breaks come at the start. But yeah, he was, doing everything he could to stay in the game, and obviously we ran a lot of stuff through him, did just enough. I mean, I still think he's got a lot of shots that can go in, but I think he's directing traffic and making good passes and all that stuff, and giving us at least a focal point to play through, which has been excellent. And I'm most impressed with his rebounding, man. He's defensive rebounding, his blocking out. He really has done a good job in the last couple games with that.
Nick, it seemed like every time Boston made a run and that crowd got pretty crazy, your guys were able to just settle in and make a play or two that helped just settle everything down. I guess what stands out to you about the mental makeup of your team to be able to muster all of those responses? Well,
the first thing I want to say is that it's really good for us to go through that and respond to it. I mean, it's good to have that experience of it's going to be like that in the playoffs. Like, you're going to be in a tight game and it's going to be super loud, and you probably see me. I was really trying hard to get the guys' attentions, to get them moved in places, and you just can't do it sometimes. And you just have to play through it. But I thought, I think we handled it just enough, right? But I think it's really good for us to experience it.
Coach, what did those tough buckets from Tyrese on those consecutive possessions mean to the overall?
Yeah, it was great. I mean, obviously they were very timely, and he hadn't turned on the Jets much all night, right? And he did it maybe three in a row. I think he might have missed one of them when we goaltended or something. I think that was one offensive. Yeah, whatever. But then he made a couple, right? And they were huge because, again, we were. It was turning into a kind of a walk-it-up slugfest for us on offense. And they were kind of sitting in that matchup, which was enabling them to really get out and run. And they just played in transition for about 12 straight minutes. And then we finally got them stopped to get in their sets. And that was, defensively, that was the difference for us in the last 3 minutes. We had them in half court, and then again till maybe like the last 90 seconds when they were really, just coming up and firing.
Great job by Nick Nurse and the Sixers. Let's hear from Joe Mazzulla now.
I think just who they are as competitors. I think that's it. And again, listen, this isn't, when you don't win a championship for the Celtics, there's always going to be, a level of we have to do better. But at the same time, regardless of what was going on, we came in with that type of mentality. I thought we came in with the championship mentality from the beginning of the year. And I thought the guys just put their head down and went to work. And, I'm grateful that I got to coach them.
You guys fell behind by a lot and were sort of desperate trying to come back there. What did you see about them trying to turn it sort of into a war of wills? And what did you think that said about this team?
In the second half?
In the fourth quarter, yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, again, I at no point during that game did I think we were going to lose it, just because of who they are as competitors and what they've done throughout the entire year. And, I thought we had 2-3 great looks, and we just didn't knock them down. But the result of that is not going to get in the way of who they are as competitors and what they've done, this game, but also what they did throughout the season.
Joe, in the 4 games you lost in this series, you're below 30% from 3. Obviously, a lot of missed shots to close this game, close game 5. Do you think you guys became too reliant on jump shots falling into this series here?
No.
And why do you feel that way?
I thought we did a great job reading the 2-on-1s, taking what the defense gave us, and in the games we lost, the other team shot over 38% from 3, and so you got to make shots. You have to be able to do that. Something we've done well, something we do well, and we just didn't. And I thought they did a good job throughout the series, later games of making them. And so, love the looks that we got, love the process that we had, but hate the result.
Hi, Joe. It's Julie. A lot of the things that were your strengths during the regular season, the offensive rebound and the second chance points, the points off turnovers, and the forcing turnovers, like Philly just seemed like they kind of clamped down towards the end of the series, just limiting offensive rebounds, not allowing second chance, just really being physical about not allowing offensive rebounds. I guess how much more difficult did it make them to solve as far as?
Well, to kind of Bobby's point about those things you do to try to eliminate the variance, right, and have the variance go in your way by getting extra possessions, by making sure you don't turn it over, and so you want to be able to, when you're not being able to make shots, get those things through offensive rebounds. And so, it was a battle of the wills, and today we had 10. I thought we could have got a couple extra ones, but I thought they did a good job taking that away. And when you do that, that's where you have to Bobby's question, you got to make shots. You have to be able to do that. And we got some great ones, and we just didn't make them. Yeah. Yeah. What part? What's it? Oh, yeah. That's a great question, and I think in a lot of times in the world today, it's an either-or society, but there's a duality to everything. And, the year we won, I felt just as empty as we did when we lost. And the duality of going after something bigger than yourself with a group of people is you're always going to have, there's two sides to every coin, and you have to, when you go after greatness, you have to accept the other side of that. And too many times, it's all about winning, but you have to surrender to the idea if when you're going after that, you're going to fail. And we've failed by not winning, but the process of being able to do that. But I think that's just kind of the duality of how things work. It's not an either or thing. It's both and you feel both of those things.
Joe, we talk about the missed shots, but obviously a lot of other things kind of transpired in this. So what changed between the playoffs and the regular season?
Nothing really. What changed in the series was Joel Embiid came back, and they're a completely different team. And that's what changed in the series. And as far as the regular season and the playoffs, nothing changed.
Joe, this team was unique from the start, and that it felt like every night it was a different hero, a different guy breaking through and having like a career moment. When it came down to the playoffs, so the fourth quarter of tonight's game, to the starting lineup, was it hard to figure out how to push the right buttons, because all year you had 82 games to do that, but now you only have 7 games, and we can sit here and say, oh, Peyton looked great, Baylor looked great, this guy looked great, but there's only 5 guys to be on the court. How challenging was that to have truly 13 guys who contributed to winning all year? And
it wasn't, and I think too many times pushing the right button gets linked to a positive result, and at the end of the day, it's about pushing the right button to process of put you in position to win, and that's always the goal. And the locker room, whoever's out there puts us in position to win and has a chance to win. And I think you just keep it. We've always kept it as that,
Joe, was asking this team to regain the identity it had the first 60 games without Jason, was that for a Game 7? Was that asking too much?
No. I don't think so. I think, again, the regular season is about having a bunch of different identities, and I think that's kind of was the strength of ours. We played double big at points throughout the season. We played small. We changed the starting lineup. We went through just a bunch of different identities to prepare yourself to have to be able to go to different stuff. And tonight was just another opportunity to do that. And we developed a bunch of different identities throughout the year. And you saw a few of those. And one of those, the zone, and one of those things kind of gave us a shot tonight. And, we just came up short.
Will there be a review of how you got the style I mean, if it's so blatant where you hit three-pointers, you win, and you miss three-pointers, you lose, like, can you live with that? Can you just continue to do that?
I mean, we're always going to play to the strength of what our roster is. I think is the best way to be able to do that, you know. And again, you know, if you take a look at the box score, they shot 39% from three. So I think going back to duality, it's always funny when, you know, we lose games by shooting 26, but the other team shoots 39, and they're like, you know, what are you going to do about it? It's like, well, the other team made 39. You know what I mean? So the duality of, like, you got to make them. They shot 40% from the game. We shot 26. But we're always going to play to the style of the strengths of the roster that we have and whatever that looks like. You know, if we go out and get 5 big men that can post, we'll post it every single time. You know, we go out and get, you know, a bunch of guys that do whatever they do. We'll do whatever we got to do to win, you know? Thank you, Joe. Thanks.
So the Celtics season is over. The Sixers move on to play the Knicks game 1 Monday. They win 3 straight in Boston. In game 2, VJ Edgecombe became the youngest player in NBA history with 30 points and 10 rebounds in a playoff game, just ahead of Magic and LeBron on that list. The series went back to Boston for game 5. Sixers down 3-1 in the series. Embiid scored 18 of his 33 in the second half, had 8 assists. Tyrese Maxey, 25, 10 boards, 5 dimes. And the Sixers extend the series. And then after winning game 6 at home, back on the road for game 7. Sixers came out of the gates hot, led by 15 in the first. Embiid and Maxey both went for 30, 10, and 5. And they snap a 4-game losing streak in game 7. This is only the 3rd time in franchise history the Celtics have lost 3 straight home playoff games in the same year. The last time it happened was 2017 against LeBron and the Cavs in the conference finals. It also happened in 2005 against the Pacers.